Hi, it's Paul Maunder from Production Expert. In this video, we'll be looking at the McDSP SA2 dialogue processor and the SA3 spectral processor and considering some of the use cases for each. The SA2 is a special type of multiband dynamics plugin. It provides 5 bands of processing, allowing dialogue and vocals to be controlled dynamically and de-essed. Each of the bands has its own threshold, and this works in tandem with the range control to determine the amount of processing. The bands have no marked frequencies, but they're around 3, 5, 7, 9 and 11 kHz respectively. Here's some dialogue which has obvious sibilance.
As part of one of our total commitments protecting the environment, we are trialling here at Cornish Park in Spennymoor different heating systems to see which is the most reliable, energy efficient and affordable for all of our residents.
Using the McDSP SA2, I've been able to control this sibilance.
As part of one of our total commitments protecting the environment, we are trialling here at Cornish Park in Spennymoor different heating systems to see which is the most reliable, energy efficient and affordable for all of our residents.
SA2 is great for controlling the mid to high frequencies, not just on speech but on vocals or anything where you need to rein in resonances in that range. It has near zero latency, so it's great for any situation where this is important, including live use in its AX DSP version on Avid venue systems. Moving on to the SA3. This uses the same algorithm as SA2, but provides over 1000 bands, and it identifies resonant frequencies and applies narrowband gain reduction to suppress them. This has a wide range of uses, but I personally use this a lot on dialogue when I need to control a broader range of frequencies, including those lower down the frequency spectrum. Here's some dialogue which has some resonances lower down.
In the last 5 years, we've managed to reduce our operational carbon emissions from over 5,000 tonnes to less than 3,000 tonnes, well over 45%.
In this case, I've used SA3 to suppress that resonance, and I've used the bias curve to increase the amount of processing around the problem frequencies.
In the last 5 years, we've managed to reduce our operational carbon emissions from over 5,000 tonnes to less than 3,000 tonnes, well over 45%.
With SA3, the detector control adjusts the sensitivity of the algorithm, essentially acting like a global threshold. In this particular project, I've used a combination of SA2 and SA3 plugins to control each of the dialogue tracks as needed. On this track, DX5, I've used SA2 to once again control sibilance. Here's some of the dialogue before processing.
The house is quite a clever house. It does quite a lot of nice things, automated. So what we're providing is additional support by just registering and monitoring some of the temperatures and humidity.
And after.
The house is quite a clever house. It does quite a lot of nice things, automated. So what we're providing is additional support by just registering and monitoring some of the temperatures and humidity.
Much better. I've got an SA3 on the dialogue bus as a whole, and that's just there to provide some moderate overall processing to iron things out across the whole frequency spectrum. Also, on the music track, I've used another SA3, but in this case, I'm using it with a sidechain signal from the dialogue bus, which then allows this to duck the music when dialogue is present, particularly in the overlapping frequencies present in the dialogue. I've used this in moderation, but here's how it sounds in context.
The Tomorrow Home gives that opportunity to be able to test some of the new technology. You know, here you've actually got our heating system in this particular property and an air source system next door. So essentially, infrared doesn't warm air at all, it just travels straight through air.
I hope this trial will actually prove that the infrared heating is the more reliable, the more economical and also the cheaper one to run for our consumers, because it's heating the objects and the person, it's not heating the room. So by opening a door or a window, you're not wasting all that wonderful heated air that you've just heated with your air source heat pump or gas boiler.
So that's how I use the McDSP SA2 and SA3 processors in my mixes. They're both superb processors which have a wide range of uses in both music and post. McDSP offer 14-day trials on all of their plugins, so give them a try and see which one, or maybe both, might be right for you. Thanks for watching.